Has corporate welfare corrupted capitalism?
Yeah, it really frustrates me when we get criticized for capitalism, and this ain't capitalism, my friends. I mean, this kind of they keep saying let's get the money out of elections and there's too many lobbyists and all of this, and they kind of blame the lobbyists and the businesses for getting in bed with the politicians. And yet, if government didn't have as much power as it has, the that and power to pick winners and losers, so you have this arbitrary, congressperson in New York that decides they don't like your industry, and they can put in a piece of legislation that decimates what you do and what you think is important. Well, I think you're going to want to have some influence on that. And now you're going to want to help influence who gets elected, because they have the power to raise up or lower down your industry and your specific business. So the problem is is the governmental power that then forces someone, an or corporation, to feel like they have to get invested in order to have some protection and to have some gain. So I think that's where the major problem is. And then you start having those same politicians say, ho, 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 all I have to do is bump up this organization, this corporation, and I get these kickbacks, I get these benefits. I think it's really telling how many politicians, especially presidents and senators and congressmen people, you see what their income was when they go into office, and you see what it is when they come out of office and after the next 5 to 10 years. And that is a serious problem with these elites playing a ball game that affects the rest of us, and yet we have almost zero way of influencing. And I think this is one of the reasons we see such a problem with the vote, because when you see what feels like broken elections, and no matter what party you put into place, they are still spending out the wazoo and just changing the players of who gets favored and who doesn't. So this has set the stage for a crony capitalism that then seems to represent true capitalism and true free markets and true free enterprise. And all the socialists use crony capitalism as the reason that capitalism doesn't work, instead of understanding true capitalism and seeing how government is infecting and creating this new third stepchild that isn't really relevant and isn't the thing. So I think it's a serious problem, and one that, unless we, like people like Alexander McCoben with Principled Business, John Mackey with Conscious Capitalism, unless we can start to reclaim what capitalism and free markets actually are and extricate it from all of this overwhelming power of government, we're going to continue to have this infested problem. And it is definitely an issue.